want to free myself. Free myself of the years of isolation that I did to myself. Free myself from that whole history of trying to kill myself. I think at this point it's necessary. I have no choice. Because if I don't, then I'm going to do this again. So this is a phone cord or a charger for my pay-as-you-go phone. And I actually wrapped this around my neck 2 days ago. And looped it around twice, and then I pulled on the other end so I can start basically choking myself. Honestly, I don't think I was doing it to try to kill myself. I was just doing it to punish myself because I'm a fool. I made too many mistakes. My years and years of wanting to put myself in harm's way led me to a life I never wanted in the first place. Now I fear the very life I always wanted, which was an independent life. I've isolated myself in this box. And that's what I call it. I call it my fear box, because I surround myself in all these fears in this one little apartment that is making me very uncomfortable and bringing all these suicidal thoughts back. And I dwell in it. I just let it drown myself. Okay, now for instance, obviously you can see it's a perfectly nice day. To most people, they will go out. To me, I usually just stay in here and hide. Now I may go to the window and peek through the fucking blinds once in a while. But other than that, this is the only thing I know. This is the only thing. I don't know how to do anything else besides hiding all the time. I'm gonna go. I don't know what to do. Besides going to the same places like Starbucks. Well, everyone go. Most people go to Starbucks anyway. I mean, I go there because it's the closest place, and I might write in my journal there. Coffee places are a good place to write. I can't write in here. It's too fucking too many disturbances to do anything. I'll just leave it at that. But I want to get myself out of this. I'm 31 and I don't have any life experience. The last 4 to 5 years alone, I wouldn't leave unless I had to. My social anxiety and my depression has been driving me crazy. It's been driving me to do reckless decisions. And, it wasn't just this past 4 years. Generally, I've lived an isolating life. Even far back as childhood, I would stay at home because children and people were outside. But even then, I feel like I lived slightly more as a child/teen as I do now. It's like the older I got, the more severe my anxiety has been getting, and I'm at a point where I'm like finally realizing the damage that depression and social anxiety does when you don't get any type of treatment for it. And I'm just like, how did I get myself into this mess? Why am I just hiding from everything? I'm supposed to be out there having a life. That's why I don't think I'm going to sign a lease to live here next year, because if I sign a lease to come in to live in this apartment for another year, where bugs are constantly going through my clothes, where I get no heat during winter, I'll get it during the summer, but not during winter. Aggressive neighbors that you don't want to be around. Noise I can handle. Party noise I can handle. People's anger and hatred I cannot. I have to get out of that. a place where the stove has been turned off because it might start a fire. I can't. Basically, I'm paying rent to have nothing that an apartment is supposed to have. And in addition to people that are slightly on the hostile side, I don't even want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about this. If I stay in here, I'm going to do shit like this again. I have no choice but to leave. I don't have a choice. I'm going to try to put myself in harm's way if I stay here. So, here's the thing. I've been in Minnesota for 9 years, hated every single moment of it. I want to go to a place where I want to be. Yes, things are going to be hard. Especially when you are moving possibly across the country to a whole new place. Now, I technically did that here. I moved from Virginia to here. Except I shouldn't have done that in the first place. I'm going to have to say that was a depressing thing, because I was severely depressed then too. So I'm not saying I got depressed as soon as I got here. All I'm saying is it got even worse, and my life experiences have been nothing but horrible. But if I want to move forward, I need to get myself away from it. Now, yes, some things you shouldn't run away from, but some things, when it's at a point where you want to put yourself in harm's way, like choking yourself with a cord, I have to leave. So I don't know what my future holds now. I honestly think it's just going to keep getting worse and worse until finally I just convince myself to say, hey, suicide is the answer. Suicide is the best option for me. Now, and this is the one problem people have. They don't understand that when a person kills themselves, or at least tries to, they do it because they feel like they don't have a choice. They feel like there's no options. They feel like they don't belong here. To them, it's technically, while it may be a decision in the mind of a person that's clearly depressed, such as me, who at least with me, I'm starting to see what I've been doing wrong. And I'm starting to see that my depression has been running my actions, and not everything that's in my head is real. Or at least, I'll talk about that in a minute. But for most people, suicide is not an option. They don't, when a person's depressed, they see no way out. And I don't think anybody really gets that. They just focus on, oh, they could have chose not to. Well, maybe not. And you just feel like you don't have a choice. And for years, I felt like I don't have a choice. But I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Look how bright the sun is out today. I don't want to hide in here. I want to go out there. And for most people, that's not a struggle. I want to go out, but I want to hide at the same time. I don't want to fucking go out there and embarrass myself. Going outside is an embarrassment. Yes, as stupid as that sounds, it's an embarrassment. Because it brings people to hate me. Now, an honest truth, that is not in just the iron but eye of the beholder. When I go outside, I am screamed at. I am called a fag. I am, people throw shit at me from their cars. I'm usually mocked at. I've seen people take out their cameras and point it at me. And trust me, I know, with a guy that has a camera myself, I know when people do this. When they do it as a source of amusement. Like, they find me funny in a mocking way. I don't get it. I don't get it. I am treated badly here, and that's not helping my anxiety at all. Yes, there's haters everywhere, but when I feel like here is a cultural thing, which is why I need to get out. I think even if I move to another apartment, I will not be happy, weather included. I'm a heat, I'm a heat person. I love the heat. The way I see it is there's two options in the United States. Either you can be extremely cold at one point of the year, or you can be extremely hot. Now, to me, if I had to choose the lesser of two evil, I'd rather be extremely hot than extremely cold because I can't do it. Uh, so I think I should listen to what I was listening to myself for once. Trust my instincts and just listen to the fact that I will never be happy here. Moving here was a mistake, and it's time to undo my mistakes. I want to move to a warmer climate, get a new start on life, new city, new rules, new life. Um, One rule is I can't be ashamed of being myself anymore. I may run to a hater or two wherever I go, but it's here, it's like it's everywhere because culturally, I think it's just a cultural thing. But if I do move, I can't be ashamed of who I am, which means I can't be ashamed for being black, I can't be ashamed of being gay. Those two things are resolved now. Um, I used to be ashamed over everything, and I had to accept myself in layers. I had to accept myself, I'll always be black. I had to always be accepting that I'll always be gay. That's, that's apparent. And I need to stand out as an individual. The one thing I hate is cliques. Because they set certain rules, you have to act a certain way. They don't usually accept everyone. And that's what Minnesota is, cliques. True, you'll find people have groups of friends everywhere, but when I used to live in Virginia, I used to be friends with the manager there, and he accepted me. Even after I came out to him, he accepted me fine and invited me into his group of friends. Like, he had his own friends, and he invited me to his house, and I would hang out with his group. His crew, as some people call it. That would never happen here. To this day, that has never happened here. I want to be around more people that are not so, what's the word? Inclusive, I don't know. Just people that accept everyone, just not their own cliques. And that will never happen here. I have to get out of here. So my future is, maybe I should, here's the thing, I wanted to move to Arizona. I love that place. It's a beautiful place. Phoenix is an awesome city. The reason why I'm trying to restrict myself from it, because I don't have a car. No, the idea was for me to get a bike. And then just, for the next 2 years, accept your limitations until you get a job, save enough money that you can get a car. Because like I said, no matter where I go, no matter where I start in life, building a life is going to be a hard road. And I might be limited no matter where I go. So, but still, the whole need a car thing is kind of pushing me back a little bit, so I don't know. I mean, I looked at schools there, I looked at, I like that place. I want to build a life in a warmer climate where I can go out any time of the year, not like 3 to 4 months of the year. Because I'm telling you, winter in Minnesota, that's practically 7 months. And I'll never want to get out. And it adds depression to the depression. And I can't do it. I'm at a point in my depression where I want to give suicide a second chance. And I don't want to do this. I have to tell myself there's a limit. But I think it's time for me to leave. The end of the year, just get whatever money you get from my EBT card. Go to Phoenix, find an apartment. That SSI will pay until I am able to find a job again, able to work. Because I feel like my depression is stalled. I could have been much better if I wasn't living here. Because when I leave, the rare times I'm outside and I have to come back here, I don't feel excitement. I feel depression and a feeling that I want to hang myself. And trust me, I've been getting more suicidal ideas. Like one, I was thinking about getting a light bulb, smashing it to the wall, and use the shattered pieces to cut my wrist again. I haven't cut myself in years. But I'm just getting all kinds of ideas just because it's not a stable environment. Yes, depression is part of a chemical imbalance, but unfortunately, environmental reasons and life circumstances can contribute to all of this. And right now, the environment that I'm in is just not a stable one. So I need to get out. I don't know how things are going to turn out. That's what I'm worried about. I feel like I'm in a cliffhanger version of my own life. That's why I'm calling this era right now, because I don't know how the story is going to end. But I do know that I need to close this chapter of my life and start a new one. Okay, and one thing I need to do, no matter where I'm going, is I need to stop seriously caring what people think of me. Like right now, I want to close the blinds, and I want to hide. I want to hide in my own apartment because people are outside. I closed the blind enough so where there's light coming in, but you really can't see me. But there's been people like walking on the steps, coming inside, and I want to hide in the bathroom or something. That's how bad my social anxiety is. Even when I'm in here, I want to hide. And that's the thing about Phoenix. It's kind of what started this whole drive to Phoenix in the first place. There is a social anxiety institute there that can help me with issues like this. Now, yes, you can go online and buy the tapes and stuff, but I want to do this in person. I want to challenge myself to the fullest, and the only way to challenge myself to the fullest is to get help in person. And I want to go to the social anxiety institute in person where I can get help for this, because trust me, when those people came, I'm scared. I feel scared. Like maybe it was a bad idea to even think about leaving. I have to do something, and just sitting in a place that's making me want to kill myself is not. I don't choose to do this to myself anymore. Although, yes, fine. It was a partial relapse, but I didn't really hurt myself. Like, I felt a tightness to it, but it wasn't painful. I let go after maybe 5 seconds or 10. I know I shouldn't have done it in the first place, and trust me, I prayed about it. I felt bad for doing it in the first place, especially after saying that telling God I wouldn't do this stuff anymore. But I feel like when I'm living in this place, I want to do nothing but hurt myself. Hell, when I'm outside, I want to hurt myself. But I've noticed, in my 9 years of hell, of living in Minnesota, I've left the state twice. Well, technically 3 times. I went to California, and I went for San Francisco, and I went to, Phoenix. I actually went to Phoenix to celebrate my 30th birthday, where I went to the Grand Canyon, which was fun. And that's what I noticed. If I see something new in life, that will help me focus more on living. When I was at the Grand Canyon, I focused on nothing but this new experience. I focused on nothing but enjoying life and seeing there's more to life than hiding in Minnesota with nothing but fear and depression. I think I really should leave for the sake of to save my own self. I'm worried that I'm going to go homeless in this transition, which is something I will ultimately use as a reason to try to kill myself again. Because everything I do, I fail. So, if I go to school, I'm going to fail. If I try to use my SSI to pay rent towards a new place, and then get a job, get my depression together, and then get a job, I'm going to fail. So no matter what I'm going to do in life, I'm going to fail. I'd rather die as a failure than to live as one. Failure and making mistakes are my 2 sensitive areas. But I think I have to do this. I left here twice, and each time I felt better the further and further away I was from this place. And it wasn't about me. Fortunately, yes, a part of it has to do with the fact that I wasn't here, but a lot of it had to do with I was seeing new things. I was in the world, being independent. While I can be technically being independent here, with all the bad things that has happened to me here, I feel mentally trapped. Like, take this apartment. I tried to kill myself, right? I tried to kill myself here. I overdosed, and I felt really horrible. I felt like that was the first time I could have died had I not crawled to a neighbor that called for help, only because I asked him to. But, of course, even when I went to the hospital, I was unresponsive for 12 hours. I still could have died at the hospital. I wish I did. I wish I fucking did. But God wants me alive, and if He wants me alive, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know why. I mean, I think I'm useless as fuck. But I think if I need to help myself, and what I'm doing is still trying to depend on my submissive behavior and try to find approval from others to say, yeah, you should do this before I do anything. Like, ever since I came here, all of my independent thinking and skills just went down the drain. And now I'm going to have to retrain myself how to think for myself all over again. Because for years, I did nothing but try to impress other people, or at least sacrifice my own voice and my own opinions and my own thoughts to see how other people felt about it, and what they wanted me to do. Trust me, I fell in submissive behavior for years, and I'm at a point where I need to force myself to break out of this. Otherwise, my life will always be shit, because I'm wanting approval of others again, and I don't need that. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know what my future is going to be. It may be even worse, but the one thing I can't agree on is that I can't stay here, and I can't stay in Minnesota. I've a lot of bad things happen to me here, especially in this own apartment. I want to move somewhere where I can start over from the very bottom and build myself up from there. Because I think if I moved to a new place where I'd never been, no one knows me, I'm not attached to anything, no bad history, I think I would be more accepting to life and accepting that I want to challenge myself, and that challenge is living. Because right now I don't even know how to live. I just know how to hide. And right now, like when those people were going through the stairs, I just wanted to hide. I wanted to go in the bathroom somewhere and just hide there and film the rest of this. So that's all I know how to do. When people are around, you hide. I can't deal with this shit anymore. It's not a way of living, and I missed out on a life experience if I could have had. So that's, for the time being, I think that's the only thing I can do. Is prepare for an uncertain future. I know I can't stay here. I don't want to die here. And if I stay here another year, I'm going to do this shit again. I need to leave. And I want to say goodbye to all of this. To hiding, to paying rent for a place where I hardly get anything fixed in the first place. And I mean, even my journal was partially damaged there because someone turned on the sprinkler at midnight, and the water, there's like a hole on the top, and the water dripped down in it. Yeah, I was devastated. Journals are like my way of remembering, and it's like my memories was being washed away. Anyway, here's to an uncertain future, because if I stay here, I know what my future holds already.